Hi everyone, this is Sam with the Wine News in 5. Before I get to global news, I have congratulations to dole out. Julian Lady, organizer of our annual wine writing competition, captain of Oxford's blind tasting team, and lover of rosé, won top taster at the annual Oxbridge blind wine tasting competition on Tuesday. Then, on February 19th, 4 new Masters of Wine were announced. They are Karen Hong Leo, MW, General Manager of Pinnacle Apex Limited, a Hong Kong-based fine wine importing and distribution company; Christina Mercuri, MW, founder and CEO of Italy-based Mercuri Wine Club, a consultancy focusing on education, brand development, and market strategy; Bryce Wyattrack, MW, author of Tokai and the Wines of Hungary, and the soon-to-be-released Dessert Wine, an encyclopedic guide to sweet and fortified wines, as well as being the founder of Vinalia, a venture-backed private label and import company in the US; and finally, Kim Oshiro, MW. Kim, as well as being the founder of Bottle Thief, an argon wine preservation system that has saved me a heap of money by preserving my study samples, is the whole reason I started the WSET program and then the MW program. She ran a tasting group in Portland, Oregon for years that launched a raft of students into study programs. I could not be happier for her and will be raising a glass with her in person this weekend at Premier Napa Valley. I hope you'll join me in congratulating these extraordinary individuals. In terms of global news, today I'll discuss this morning's ruling by the Supreme Court of the United States, a laundry list of sales, closures, and layoffs in the US, the sale of Ridgeview Wine Estate in the UK, Wales hiking the minimum price of alcohol, and Spain's vineyard area dropping to the lowest level in 50 years. First up, this morning's ruling by the Supreme Court of the United States. Today, February 20th, the Supreme Court of the United States ruled that the reciprocal tariffs the Trump administration imposed under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, IEEPA, were unconstitutional. The court ruled 6-3 with conservative Chief Justice John Roberts, Amy Coney Barrett, and Neil Gorsuch joining liberal justices Sonia Sotomayor, Elena Kagan, and Ketanji Brown Jackson in striking down the tariffs. Trump has reportedly called the ruling a disgrace and says he has a backup plan. This legal challenge, VOS Selections versus Trump, was brought by a small New York wine importer. It is a massive victory for the wine industry. U.S. importers who have struggled to pay tariffs for the last year, and U.S. producers who have had to pay higher equipment costs will doubtless be relieved. Next, sales, closures, and layoffs in the U.S. On February 18th, the San Francisco Chronicle covered 3 major stories of U.S. winery sales, closures, and layoffs. The first was an announcement that Gallo is closing Ranch Winery, a production facility in Napa Valley that employed 56 people. The company will also be reducing staff at Louis Martini Winery, Orin Swift, J Vineyards, and Frey Ranch. Total staff reductions, including the Ranch Winery layoffs, will total 93 people. The second story broke the news that Chalone Winery's production facility in Soledad, Monterey County, closed on February 6th and laid off all winemaking staff. The brand, owned by Foley Family Wines, will remain in production, moving winemaking operations to a different Foley family facility. The third story covered the listing of 2 premium Napa vineyards, Haystack Vineyard on Atlas Peak and Cloud's Nest Vineyard on Mount Veeder, by Trinchero Family Wine and Spirits. Elizabeth Hooker, Trinchero's Vice President of Communications, was quoted saying, "Given market dynamics, listing select vineyards is a proactive step we've taken to ensure we're positioned for long-term sustainable growth." In addition to the Chronicle's coverage, this week also saw the announcement that 500 employees were being laid off by Breakthrough Beverage Group, one of the US's largest wine, beer, and spirits distributors. Republic National Distributing Company, RNDC, another large distributor, confirmed another round of employee layoffs this month. This follows the news late last year that RNDC laid off upwards of 1,700 employees and seized their distribution in California. Both Breakthrough Beverage and RNDC import wine as well as distributing and were hit hard by Trump's tariffs. On to the sale of Ridgeview Wine Estate in the UK. Last September, Ridgeview Wine Estate in Sussex entered administration while its sale to a prospective buyer was being worked out. On February 11th, it was announced that Ridgeview had been acquired for an undisclosed sum by QBR Ridge Limited, an investor consortium led by the Quantum Beverage Company, which is an investment platform specializing in adult beverages. Simon Roberts will remain head winemaker. His sister, Tamara Roberts, previously Ridgeview CEO, will step down. Next, Wales hikes the minimum unit price of alcohol. At the beginning of this month, Wales raised its legal minimum unit price for alcohol by 30%, from 50 pence to 65 pence. A unit is equivalent to 10 milliliters of pure alcohol, the alcohol in a standard drink. While this is a controversial decision, I would like to point out that minimum price per unit is not a tax. It's simply a regulation that alcohol cannot be sold for below a certain price point. This affects only the cheapest of alcoholic products. Finally, Spain's vineyard area drops to the lowest level since records began. On February 12th, Wine Plus reported that Spain's vineyard area fell to 889,470 hectares in 2025. This is the first time that area under vine has been below 900,000 hectares since the Organización Interprofesional del Vino de España began keeping records in 1980. That's all for this episode of the Wine News. I'll be in Napa for Premiere Napa Valley tomorrow. If you're attending, please come say hi. And if you enjoy this newscast and you'd like to see it continue, please become a member of jancesrobinson.com. As always, if you have breaking news in your area, please email me at news@jancesrobinson.com. Thanks.